surah of the Quran which is different from every single other surah of the Quran. In that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats one ayah 31 times. What the false sunrise has done to the system of time. And I can give you endless examples that the false sunrise has come to destroy the truth. The truth. Okay? And since you are born in Britain, you have an advantage. Since you are born in Britain, you have an advantage over your brothers in Egypt. You have an advantage over your brothers in Bangladesh. You have an advantage over your brothers in India and Pakistan. Because you know this society now. You know this civilization. And you hence are able to understand what is happening in the world. They are living an innocent life. They don't know what, they believe this is heaven. This is heaven. Who wants to go back to Egypt? Huh? You must be crazy. This is heaven, Egypt is hell. Huh? You would be able to go back and tell them. No, this is ziyadatun lil kufr. This is the road to increasing kufr. Huh? So we do not accept the view that the sun can literally rise from the west, because that would be in conflict with what Allah has said in the Quran, that my Lord causes the sun to rise from the east. Why don't you cause it to rise from the west? We therefore say that the sign of the sun rising from the west has to be understood and interpreted. And this is our interpretation. And when you interpret the Quran or you interpret the Hadith, you must say, Allah knows best. And only Allah can confirm the interpretation. So you never divide the Jama'ah. You never have boxing matches over interpretation. Good, I want to stop here and hear what are your views on this sun rising from the west. Let me enjoy the moment for you are thinking people, aren't you? You think. You know Dr. Iqbal, the famous Pakistani scholar, he said this Ummah stopped thinking 500 years ago. So I have come to Britain to invite you to think. Yeah. Any comment? We've taken only one so far, we still have 9 more. But tonight I can take my time, I have enough time. We have one Egyptian here. Any more Egyptians? No more Egyptians, okay. Nobody has a comment to make? Sebastian? You're still thinking? Yeah?
I originally thought it might be something to do with electricity or something, like the sun rising. I thought maybe it had something to do with light or something, like the discovery of like electricity, or how it's like changed the world and stuff.
Proper methodology is to always show respect for the Quran. Absolute truth is located in the Quran. So you must first go to the Quran and then go elsewhere. You see? That is proper methodology. And when we go to the Quran, look at what the Quran says. My Lord causes the sun to rise from the east. Why don't you try to get it to rise from the west? It couldn't be plainer than that. And yet, we have huge numbers of Muslims who are convinced that the sun will literally rise one day from the west, and they have NASA supporting them, and they say it's a new North Pole and sun. Like the theory that the earth is flat. And they are bombarding me for every single direction with emails and so on. Sheikh, the earth is flat, the earth is flat, the earth. Quran says the earth is flat. So I said, if the earth is flat, is it flat here where I'm standing? Yeah, it's flat everywhere, Sheikh, everywhere it's flat. I said, okay. Then would you be willing to join with me? Let's travel. If the earth is flat, it must have an end somewhere. It cannot go endlessly. I want to travel to the end of the earth. Would you come with me? Nobody's accepting my invitation. I said, if I travel from where I'm standing, don't tell me to go to the North Pole. Nonsense. If the earth is flat, is it flat here? And if I travel from here and I keep on traveling and I return to where I started, then your theory about the earth being flat is refuted. Simple. Proper methodology is to go to the Quran. And the Quran delivers many ayat on the subject. So now we finished the first one, that the sun would rise from the west. I didn't take Dajjal, I didn't take Gog and Magog, I didn't take Return of Nabi Isa alayhi salam, because you know this subject very well, most of you. Number 2, Dukhan. And this is the surah of the Quran. Dukhan. And we have to decide whether smoke, dukhan, smoke, is it something muhkam or mutashabih? Mutashabih. It is to the Quran we must turn. Will there come a day when the whole sky will be filled with smoke? Is that possible? What does the Quran say? There's one surah of the Quran which is different from every single other surah of the Quran, in that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats one ayah 31 times. Which surah? Surah Ar-Rahman. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ is repeated how many times? 31 times. So I really have to be sleeping and snoring, not to be alerted. He's knocking on my head 31 times, and I still don't register nothing. Maybe that was too much biryani I ate. He is alerting us that in this surah there is knowledge you have to look for and search for it. We don't have the time to do Surah Ar-Rahman tonight. But in Surah Ar-Rahman there is an indication that Allah is going to deal with two people, both of whom are evil. And who are the two? People who reject the truth, people who have no belief in the hereafter, no, are godless people, tukazzibun. And who are the two people? Ya ma'ashar al-jinni wal-ins. They are human beings and jinn. And I think Britain is already inundated with hordes and hordes of evil jinn. Yes, I believe that. because this country is witnessing the collapse of religion in this country. That church was there for hundreds of years. Generation after generation prayed in that church. The churchyard has a cemetery. And then people stopped coming to church. And they stopped paying for the maintenance and upkeep of the church. And now around the whole of Britain, one by one, the churches are being put up for sale. Some are lucky that we buy them, but the rest go to McDonald's hamburgers and Kentucky Fried and Pizza Hut and Bingo Hall, and that's where the church is going. And as religion collapses in this country, and people live a godless way of life, Shaitan takes over. And when Shaitan takes over in this country, he has his agenda. Oh yes. But when Shaitan takes over in this country, they're going to live like a people who have been driven to madness by the touch of Shaitan. So you can close your eyes and you can say, in this country you're going to have an epidemic of mental illness, of, what is it called now? When people start forgetting things. Huh? Dementia. They're suffering from dementia, and they're suffering from something worse than that. It's called, you don't even know your own children. What is it called?
Amnesia.
Not amnesia, it's a disease. Amnesia is to forget. Huh? Parkinson's disease, yes, but there's another name. When one person in the family is stricken with that disease, you don't even know your own children. The whole family, the whole khandan is affected by that one person. You could never leave that person alone. The whole family now is tied up. So what they do, they send it and put it in a home for mentally ill people. That's what they do. This country is falling apart because Shaitan is taking over. This country has done more evil in the world, more evil than most other countries in the world. This country has done it. And there is a huge abundance of jinn here, evil jinn. Yeah. If I had the time, I could have lectured to you. This is Monkey Town. And Allah says in Surah Ar-Rahman, سَنَفْرُغُ لَكُمْ أَيُّهَا الثَّقَلَانِ. Just one small ayah, that's all he needs. I'm going to deal with both of you who are laden with sin. The jinn and the human beings. And when Allah deals with them, this country is gone. This country is finished. And how will He deal with them? نُرْسَلُ عَلَيْكُمَا شُوَازٌ مِّن نَارٍ وَنُحَاسٌ فَلَا تَنْتَصِرَانِ. I'm going to send against you a flash of fire, and it will be followed by smoke. And when that happens, you have no one to help you. Me, I understand that clearly. That's the big war that's coming. And that has to be nuclear war. Nabi Muhammad ﷺ spoke about that war. And he said, you know about the mountain of gold? You know about the mountain of gold? If you don't know, well, you got some homework to do. They're going to fight for the mountain of gold. This is Sahih Bukhari. And he said that 99 out of every 100 who fight for that mountain of gold will be killed. So this cannot be conventional war. This has to be a war using weapons of mass destruction. That's nuclear weapons and thermonuclear weapons. And so I have come to the conclusion that the Dukhan is around the corner. When nuclear war takes place, the mushroom clouds that come from those nuclear weapons will block out the sunlight. Block out the sunlight. And there are differing hadiths on the subject. The Christians have their own views on the subject about how many days there'll be no sunlight, the Christian eschatology. And our eschatology also has some, but nobody touches this subject. I've never come across anybody lecturing on this subject. And so my view is that Dukhan is not to be interpreted. No, it is literal. Literal. There will be literal smoke, meaning the mushroom clouds from nuclear explosions, and it will block out the sunlight. And Allah knows best. Any comments?
Would you say, in relation to the moon earlier, the UK is on a higher level of kufr, the fact that they tamper with the British summertime and the daylight saving hours?
My age is now 80 by the moon, and the hearing is declining. And that's not always a bad thing, when the hearing is declining. I have to get the hearing aid. So you're going to have to speak a little louder.
I was just saying, in relation to the moon earlier, would you say the UK, the fact that they tamper with the summertime and the daylight saving hours throughout the winter times, would you say that's a higher level of kufr, like you mentioned?
No, the ziyadatun lil kufr is when you interfere with the system of time in the sense of dislocating your relationship with the moon, because the moon is at the heart of the system of time, not the sun, the moon. And so it is the Arab system of adding 1 month and the Roman Catholic Pope who gave us modern Western civilization, amazingly so. I mean, this man must be crazy. I don't know how he got away with it. He says a month could be 31 days. How the company didn't throw him out of the Vatican? And a month could be 30 days, and a month could be 29 days, and a month could be 28 days, and the whole rest of the world accepted it like sheep. But daylight saving time and so on does not appear to me to affect the moon. No, yeah. Any comment on Dukhan? Dukhan. Okay. I have a very docile audience tonight. Either you're still thinking, or some of you are scared of me. I don't know why you're scared of me.
I have just one question regarding this matter. You know, why Britain is more blessed than the third world countries like India, Pakistan? If you're saying that, you know, the shaitan is overtaking this country, why this country is more blessed than the third world?
In what way is this country blessed, tell me?
Like, you know, they have all kind of facilities, like we have all living facilities here, we have good living here.
You have, this is the, I think the Prime Minister just reminded us, this is either the 5th or 6th most wealthy country in the world. And when you have wealth, you can do many things that poor people can't do.